public for anyone wishing to speak on resolutions being offered for adoption or any matter. Uh, Jimmy, let's call the first person up. Note that you'll have a 5 minute time limit, and there'll be the countdown will start when you begin your speaking. So, who's the first person we have?
First person in our queue tonight is Mr. Bruce Patterson.
Okay, Mr. Patterson, you're up.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the Freeholder Board. This is Bruce Patterson, Garwood, New Jersey. I did send in my comments, written comments, and I corrected them to reflect the proper resolution numbers from the draft to the real agenda that you now have. So in speaking, Resolution 2020, 633 and 634, these may be out of order because things changed. These two resolutions are for a total of $8 million in the CARES Act grants to nonprofits and what is called safe learning. This really needs clear explanation to the public exactly what this is for, and specifically why $4 million is earmarked for nonprofits. Resolution 2020, 622, 623, 624, and I harped upon this in the last couple of freeholder meetings. These are resolutions increasing our expenditures for the vote by mail process by another $800,000, now spending a grand total to date of nearly $5.5 million. The reason for such expenditures is Executive Order 177, which states every active registered voter is to receive a mailed ballot. Actually, I see no difference as to what you're already doing, and this money is really just abusing our tax dollars. It's $550,000 more to DMV Press, $200,000 to full-service mailers, another $40,000 to Royal Printers. In my opinion, it's easy to get away with abuse during a crisis situation. $5.5 million and counting. Resolution 2020-630. This is a resolution of CME Associates of Parlin on-call and engineering services. Original contract was $45,000. This reso adds another $20,000, which is nearly a 50% increase. That's a big increase for just sitting by the phone for on-call. This total expenditure needs an explanation. And by the way, CME had donated to the Freeholders and the Cronies campaign $106,000 in 4 years. 2020-632. Here's a resolution to the UCCF, our county's financial arm, which is just really a black hole losing millions of our taxpayer dollars. Led by an ex-freeholder, Sullivan, proved himself a financial failure at county budgeting his 2 years as finance chair, resulting in a 16% increase in county taxes. Now you're giving him $2 million for what you call preliminary expenses in the planning, design, and undertaking of this new government complex that's coming up. No one there has any expertise in planning and design, so you really need to explain where this $2 million is disappearing. UCCF needs to be abolished, the members tossed out on their ears. This is the most incompetent agency in the county, more so than what I find you guys doing. That's a backhanded compliment, I guess. Please vote no on this. Resolution 2020-642. Although his leaving the Freeholder Board raises some eyebrows since he's leaving prematurely and not serving to the end of the year, as previously stated, I am here to commend Freeholder Estrada for his years of service. Over the years, many times, in fact, so many times, we did not see eye to eye on issues and resolutions, but from his chair, he gave a thorough and easily understood explanation of his stance or his views to the public. He was the most transparent freeholder since I have been coming to these meetings for over 15 years. Probably the highest praise to be considered from me is that I did vote for him in the past. And general comment, thank you for coming to Garwood for COVID testing. A question that comes out of that is, what type of testing will you be doing? Will it be nasal or saliva? So thank you very much, freeholders.
Okay, Mr. Patterson, thanks. We'll move. Ed, do you want to mention anything about the safe learning and the nonprofit? You made a small comment about that up front, but if you want to add any color to that, that'd be great.
Yeah, I could touch on a few of these things, Chairman. I'll take the last comment first about the mobile testing in Garwood. That's going to be the saliva test, which is done through Rutgers University. Results should be in about 48 to 72 hours. So that's the what we use for all the mobile testing. For let me go. Sorry, for 632. That is for the Improvement Authority to work on our new government complex. There's a need to hire an architect, a qualified architect, to do the bridging documents. So that is what that is about. For 33 and 34, there's a great need for the nonprofits. It's going to be used for COVID-related expenses, like we're doing with municipalities and other groups, for PPE or things that these groups are spending money on so they could operate and continue to help the public. So I think I covered most of Mr. Patterson's things under me, and I'll turn it back to you, Chairman.
And just on the safe learning, that's for the school districts.
I'm actually going to defer to that one to Director Taylor.
Okay.
Through you, Chairman. As schools announce plans for full or partial distance learning in response to the spread of COVID-19, working parents with school-aged children ages 5 to 13 require a safe learning setting. And as a result, the county the administration is recommending through the board to award up to $4 million for families that qualify for free and reduced lunch, because most working families would be most adversely affected by having to stay at home to care for children. This grant allows us to partner with daycare centers, which is also a critical need area. There's been many studies shown that those are the most vulnerable businesses at this point in time. And so it gives them with relief and providing a service to working families to have children be in a safe location while families have to work.
Okay, Director, and where is there information on that for the public? I mean, obviously we're passing it just tonight, but where could people find information on that?
The school districts, we've partnered with the county superintendent, and he will be releasing to each of the various school districts a flyer where parents can log on to our website to access the application and to find out more information. We have also been speaking to all of the daycare centers, and we've released information preliminarily to gauge their interest, and we will then be following up upon approval by the board.
All right, very good, thank you. I do want to see if we can call on Joanne Rajapi, our county clerk, on the vote by mail information. I mean, obviously it's mandated by the governor, and we're just executing the executive orders that your office has gotten, that we've gotten, but you know, and that takes a lot of money to do that. So, but if you want to add anything, Joanne, from your perspective, I'd appreciate it.
Sure, Mr. Chairman, thank you. The largest expenditure here is for 375,000 vote by mail ballots. We have never had this expenditure before, even in the presidential, because we don't do all vote by mail elections. The second highest expenditure is for postage, but I have to tell you, we're getting a great deal. 42 cents per ballot, that's amazing. And that totals 157,000. The only expense in here that is not directly mandated is $33,800. I have decided to put a how to vote brochure in with every ballot. The reason being, we don't want people to be disenfranchised because they do not understand how to vote a ballot. Now, the ballot does have instructions, but the vote by mail brochure is a graphic, and it shows the step-by-step process. And we know from experience in the primary that many people were not able to do it correctly. So this is an attempt to help people do it correctly so their vote counts.
Okay. All right, good, Joanne. Thank you. I figured it was along those lines, but I'm glad you spelled it out a little bit more specifically. Much obliged. Appreciate that. Okay, Jimmy, is there anybody else that